we all know now that Donald Trump is still the Commander-in-Chief of the United States military. That is a fact. And we've laid out the evidence for that. There's no question to that anymore. No. Anyone that doesn't believe it is a fucking retard. That's it. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. They're a fucking retard. So, that's what you're dealing with, folks. That's what you're dealing with. We are dealing with a military intervention that's coming up in this country as it is around the world. Right now, there is 400%, 4 times more military manpower and military assets being moved around the world than there was at the height of World War II. At the very height of World War II, there's now 400% more military assets and military manpower being moved around the world. So this is a huge mobilisation for military, and it's happening all over the world, and very soon you're going to see it manifest here on the streets here in Australia. It's a fact. Now the Freemasons and these secret societies here in Australia, they know that. They know it. They know it and we know it, right? I mean, they watch the Green Room. They do. I mean, there's probably more of them dickheads watch the Green Room than there are of us, right? and they also watch me, and they look at everything I post, and everyone else, they see exactly the same information. So they know it's coming. So what they've done is they're going to play, once again, they're going to play the long hand, the long game, okay? They're getting organised. They're now getting themselves organised to the point where they are going to watch the military come in, and they are going to say, hey, we represent the Australian people. We are the real Australian people. That's what they're going to attempt to do. And as soon as the military do their job and leave, they're going to go straight back to building these secret societies again. Okay? That's what you're going to get up. Anything they lose through a military intervention, you're going to take it all back. They're going to take it all back. You watch it. And I point to the alt media. I point to the alt media as a case in point. We've just spent 6 years destroying corporate media. We've destroyed them. Us, ordinary people, every day saying, this is what they're saying, and here's the truth. This is what they're saying, here's the truth. And we kept doing it millions and millions and millions of times over, to the point now where corporate media has been hollowed out. What has replaced it? Exactly the same shit. We've rebuilt exactly the same shit. The same business model, right? The same censorship. I'm not frightened about any censorship from Albanese, none. None. I'm more concerned about the self-censorship that goes on inside the freedom movement, right? We built the same choke points, the same censorship, the same bullshit, the same factions, right? Okay, instead of it being corporate media, we call it alt media. And once again, they're expecting you to put your hand in your pocket and pay it. Feed them. Feed them, right? I mean, not one of them out there. Go and have a look at who promoted the national strike. Not one of them. The biggest news story in the Australian scene, not one of them wanted to touch it. Not one. Leaving aside Rick Bosey and A1 who promoted the hell out of it, right? I'm talking about the other shitbags, right? Look at the federal intervention into the CFMEU, right? They sacked 207 officials, John Setka and all them other idiots. Here you have the ex-president of the Trades Hall Council, the ex-secretary of the CFMEU, who intimately knows it back to front. Not one interview, not one request to come and talk about this. I wonder why. Can you see? We've rebuilt exactly the same shit that we've spent 6 years destroying. That's the Freemasons playing the long hand. Look at this hand over here while we really do something over here. Okay? That's what we've done. And all your freedoms and everything else that you are going to achieve and take and all the rest of it through a military intervention, the moment they leave, the Freemasons, the Jesuits, and all these Zionists, they're going to take it all back. Why? Because they're organised, well organised, and you're not. You're not. Okay? And that's why we need this union. if we don't have this union and we don't have an organisational force at the ground level and get our affairs in order, they're just going to get it by default. You get it? Because there's no opposition. All right? That's why this union has to be up and running. Okay, or are they administering? Well, quite simply, they're administering international law. That's what they're doing. They have usurped our sovereignty by continuing to sign these international covenants, by contracting out our sovereignty and signing all these other, instruments that have usurped our sovereignty and in favour of international law. Okay, so that's the facts of the matter. Now, I'm not saying that the Constitution 1910 is not applicable. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not trying to project what I would like it to be. I'm simply stating what is the actual situation. The actual situation is that we have a nation that is being held captive, held hostage by a belligerent occupation who are administering this country as per international law. Okay? So, instead of the Freedom Union trying to establish itself under constitutional law, right, instead of it trying to do that and then engaging in a massive jurisdictional fight, right, as to what law, what jurisdiction applies, etc., we have taken the air out of all of it and said, fuck it. We're not even going to contest whether or not we are under a constitutional jurisdiction. We're not even going to contest it. We are going to accept the fact that we are under international law. And then what we did is we went and had a good look at this international law to see what we could use, right? What we could use. And holy moly, guess what? They have signed us up for some laws here which are a whip for their own back, okay? Now, people said, okay, well, how did you set the union up under international law? Well, freedom of association. That's it. Freedom of association under international law says that we can set up our own association, our own union, right, and be protected under law. That's what the freedom of association laws are, right? We then looked at other laws. One, it's called the Rome Statute. And under the Rome Statute, right, it is illegal for us to support a government, a belligerent occupation, but a government who is engaged in war crimes. And if we don't do something about it, then we ourselves can be held accountable, okay, for being accessory to war crimes. That's the facts of the matter. So, number one, job on hand with the Freedom Union as soon as I launch this website this week coming, hopefully, and when we wind it up next week, is going to be stop paying tax, right? We're going to stop paying tax, right? And our job is to help you guys, all of the members, to find out how you can do that. Now, we think we've already found a solution for the pay-as-you-earn taxpayer, right? Okay, we can stop getting tax taken out of your wage packet as a pay-as-you-earn. Right, so we're doing that now. We think we've got a solution for that one. We're now looking for solutions for GST. We're looking for solutions for taxes on property transfers and other stuff. Okay, under the law, under international law, it says it is illegal for us to financially support this government who is engaged in war crimes. That is a fact. If you try and fight them on that basis as an individual, they will, even though you're right, you'll probably get squashed. But if a union takes it on, whole different ballgame. Whole different ballgame. And people say, oh yeah, but there's only hundreds of us here tonight. To pull that off, you need 50,000. Well, no, you don't. No, you don't. I mean, the CFMEU have 100,000 union members and they've lost their union. It's gone. Government's now got it, they've got an administrator, and they've sacked every union official in the country. They're gone. Okay. Now, if I go to one building site, and they join the Freedom Union, one, where we have strong union and weak management. All I've got to do is have an industrial standoff and force that builder to stop taking tax out of those workers on that building site. That's all I've got to do. You know what sort of big mouths construction workers are? If one building site overnight gets a 40% pay increase because they're not paying income tax, it will go viral within 48 hours nationally. There will be hundreds of thousands of these knuckle draggers, mate, saying, hey, what about us, you know? John Sitka got us 10% pay increases, Commo John's getting us a 40% pay increase. You understand? And if it's on a Saturday or a Sunday when you work at double time, it's equivalent to an 80% pay increase. You'll understand the deal. I think we've got a solution for the pay-as-you-earn taxation, right? PAYE. But now we want to go after GST and we want to go after property transfer taxes and other taxes, okay? All right, so we've got to find out how to stop paying this stuff, okay? Regardless if the law says that we shouldn't be paying it, we've got to find out how to stop paying it, right? And at the very least, we've got to show that we've tried. If we can't show that we've tried to resist this government, then all of us are open to being an accessory to war crimes. That's the facts. Even if we continue to pay tax, but we can demonstrate that we tried not to pay tax, that is enough of a defence, right, to avoid any conviction for being an accessory to war crimes, okay? So big plans coming up. National Trade Union broadcasting channel. We have a international law. We have educational stuff that's going on, and I believe it's the right formula. There's no one else in the freedom movement, no one that's tried this. None. You see, everyone's wedded to this model or that guru or that guru or that model, and I just don't give a shit about any of it, right? I have only one goal: what works, right? I don't care who owns it. I don't care, how offbeat it may sound, if it works, right? And I'm telling you, all of the constitutional arguments up to date have not worked. They haven't worked. We have been drawn into this huge war, huge argument as to jurisdiction, okay, and court cases and everything else is dependent upon it. And I'm not saying that we're wrong in doing that. I'm just saying it hasn't worked. I'm saying the best way to bring this government down, really put the wind up, is use the same laws that they have roped us into, international laws, okay? There's enough meat and potatoes inside of those laws to clobber them, really clobber them, and do a number on them, okay? So we're not here to muck around, mate. We're not here to piss around. It's $200. It's going to be a roller coaster. You're going to have a fucking ball. I'm telling you. You watch. I'm going to take you on a Bronco busting ride you've never had before. I'm telling you. But we're going to win. That's the good news. We're going to win. They can't pull this off. They can't pull it off. The circumstances are such that they have nowhere to go. They can't survive in the light. They can only survive in the dark, in the shadows. That's it. That's how they operate. Secret societies, secret handshakes, secret oaths, all that can't prosper when there's transparency and light. And that's us. That's us. And if they're not prepared to see the fucking light, then they're going to have to feel the fucking heat. That's where it's going. Leadership team, okay, what will make it work or not? It will either fail or it's going to work. And what will make it work is the team of people that are at the leadership level of the union and they're organising. That's me and the team of people that I've got. And the vast majority of them are women. Some of them have had their children trafficked from them by child protection services and so on. So they're really, really dedicated to fight that war as well. They're tough, they're smart, they've got good skill sets, and they've got a great attitude. So that team that we've put together, mate, I'm telling you, is about the best you'll see. Best I've seen in a long while. It's got a good dose of mongrel in it, right? Okay, they're not all consummate professionals. They've got a good dose of mongrel in them. They know how to fight. They know how to fight dirty, but they've got great skill sets, right? They really, really have a lot to contribute, right? So this union, I think, is going to be well led, well administrated. It will be transparent and accountable, okay? No one in the union team at all is motivated by money. None of us. We all just want to pay the bills and just keep our head above water and make it work, right? But none of us are doing this for money, for power, for any of that sort of stuff. So it's a great team. Really, really is a great team. So I think the union is a sure bet. It's a sure bet because the union's going to grow, and it's on a trajectory of upwards, whereas this belligerent occupation, they are collapsing. They are collapsing all around the world. They're collapsing. They're becoming more and more desperate. They're making bigger and bigger mistakes, and they are falling apart, okay? So I'm saying, in any fight that I've ever fought in all my career with the unions, this one here is, I've never seen such a sure bet in my life, such as this. This is guaranteed to be successful, guaranteed. And this belligerent occupation's failure is guaranteed. It's going to fail. The union is not set up to win that war because we've already won that. The union's set up to make sure that after winning it, we don't lose it again to these secret societies. Because I'm telling you now, everything they lose with the military occupation, everything they lose, they'll want to take it all back. The day the military leave, they're going to want to take the lot of it back. If we're not ready, they'll do it. They'll do it. They play the long hand. They're not terribly smart, but they're patient. They're very patient, these people. So we need this union here. We need it up. We need it functional. And we need to mobilise it quickly, okay? The protections in it under international law, and I will articulate this with weekly uploads. I'll do weekly State of the Union addresses so that you can know how the union's infrastructure is progressing and how we're pursuing things and what our values are, what we're pursuing, right? And I want you guys to participate in the building of the union. Remember, the union is not a finished product being offered to you to buy in. It's not. The union is a $200 invitation for you to accept an invitation to come in and help build it. That's what it is. Now I think I've got done enough early infrastructure and enough research work to guarantee that we're on a good footing. But it's up to all of you guys to come in and really lend your weight, okay? For good benefits, okay? In constitutional law, what law are they administrating? International law. Now, if you want to go to law about what jurisdiction applies and waste your resources, right, trying to get to what jurisdiction applies, and that's what's going on. Before you can even argue the merits of an argument, you've got to spend a ton of resources just to get to the right constitution. That's right, the right jurisdiction. You get me? The Freedom Union saying, fuck that. No, fuck that. We're not even going to argue jurisdiction. We're just going to agree with them. Yeah, it's international law. Yeah, it's all international law. But then we go and look at the international laws and see what we can do, what laws we can weaponise to come back and hold them accountable. And when you go through that and have a good look at it, you're going to see that they have made a massive rod for their own back. In the right hands, right, these international laws can be really used to batter these bastards back big time. Big time. That's what we intend to do. Right? Let the constitutionalists do their stuff. We don't wish anyone any ill will. Let all of them keep going and do what they want to do. We think it's going to come to nothing, but that doesn't matter. Let all the common law people go and do what they're going to do. We have no ill will towards anyone. It will go fucking nowhere. Nowhere. Their time has not come. We say the common law and the constitutionalists, their time will come after the military comes and does its job, because that's when we're really going to need them. We're going to need them to get this constitutional stuff sorted right out, to get the common law stuff sorted right out. But their time is not now. Now it's our time. Now it's international law. That's the way you horsewhip these bastards. Use their own laws back against them. Okay? So the more I'm saying, put aside your common law, put aside all of their constitutional law. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying it's not ready yet. Not yet. That's after reset. We're going to need all of that. Because we've got to have a new legal system. We've got to have a new constitution. We've got to fix this shit up. So your time is going to come. And we're going to badly need you. But right now, we've got to be able to get the clean out. And the best way to bring the shit show to an end is to pull out the support pillars that are holding the belligerent occupation in place. What holds this occupation in place? It's the courts, it's the cops, it's the councils. Once you pull them down, the whole lot of it falls down. Okay? All right. So that.